Warp Speed Capita.
What a surprise the warp speed was. Fuck, Scotty. Total warp speed.
Yeah.
It's
Giving it all she's got.
I mean, this is a fun, stiff, aggressive board. It's got a really kind of medium stiff flex. And it's a 57, which is the perfect size lengthwise for me. Widthwise, this isn't my bag. This isn't my cup of tea. I'm a size 9 boot, so I really felt like this was going to be Jimbo's board. Yet, when I got on this thing, I'm glad I paired it up with the Union Falcor, the T-Rice Falcor, because that's a very responsive binding. And doing that made me almost contemplate wanting to own this, because, yeah, it was slower turning for me, but it was nowhere near as slow as I had expected. And when I paired up with a really responsive binding, I think even the Atlas could hang pretty well with this, but I think really this is a great 1-2 punch, even if you're a mid-wide. And Jimbo, this was the fun part, because I'm like, Jimbo, I never get wide boards. It's kind of a bummer, you know. I don't want to push it and go, give me one in regular, give me one in wide, you know, you know. And I just said, send me the warp speed. And Jimbo went out and tell us about your carving experience.
I got to actually touch the snow with my knee. Yeah. My knee touched the snow on a toe side turn. That never happens.
You kept looking surprised because Jimbo is used to riding with me.
Yeah.
Constantly checking it. Constantly checking his carbs. Because he knows he's going to hit that
It's
toe.
like a hot stove for me. I cannot go all the way over.
It was so fun watching him go like this, and then like this, and then like this, and he kept going further, and it kept surprising him every time. He kept like thinking he should pull back, and then he did like 3 or 4 carves and really started to feel comfortable. And it was nice seeing, because Jimbo's the butterer, I'm the carver. You know, Jimbo's the freestyle. I'm kind of more the mountain guy. And it was fun seeing Jimbo get his carve on. It was really fun. And it's nice. And so, you know, this is the kind of board, but it's, you know, a lot of guys, I get emails from guys and no, not gals, but guys who have a Bigfoot, like an 11, but they feel like they'd rather shrink down into a,
shove themselves
yeah, they'd
into
rather
into
like
a smaller
fit
boot.
down into a regular boot, and so they're like, yeah, I got an 11 and a half, but it's a reduced footprint, and I'm just gonna get, you know, a 25 3 waist. And I'm like, don't do it, man. You're just gonna drag your heels. The side cut on this is fast and dynamic. If you're thinking Mercury or warp speed and you're an 11 like Jimbo, 11 and a half, it's fucking warp speed all the way.
Sulu.
Especially coming from a size 9 guy, I could turn this. It was way faster than I thought, and when the side cut was engaged, I could feel it. You know, it has a decent turn radius. It's not like, it didn't feel like super deep, but it definitely felt good, and I definitely felt like I could get it over it. And no, I don't want to ride this in the trees, but based on my size 9, if you're a size 11, this thing is just like, this would be a tree ninja. It's a little more directional than the Mercury, and it's got the Black Snowboard of Depth's camber profile, so it's a much better directional ride. It's for those who, I could ride switch on this, no problem, but it's definitely for those who occasionally ride switch and don't ride like all the time, you know? Like, don't ride switch all. If you're riding switch just as much as your regular, but if you're one of those like 20% guys, this is fine.
This'll do fine.
Yeah, and it's stiff, it's snappy, it's poppy. I definitely felt better edge hold with the Mercury, but I felt this was closest to the Mercury of any of the boards I tried, and it's just got this like poppy, dynamic, lively flex. That flat off the tail didn't seem to affect too much of the carve. I felt it to be pretty good, actually. Sometimes flat in the camber profile can interfere. It seems to like fuck with the turning radius a little bit, and it didn't do it with this board. I felt this board was a joy to carve it. I thought it was a very fun carving board. It's on the upper ear. It's on the upper tier. I mean, if this was full camber, it would be an amazing carving board, but I wouldn't want that because then you're sacrificing the float and powder. And you can set this thing back and get really good directional float. You can kind of see here, you can check on the table, but you can see here there's a good bit of rocker, and so you got that pop off the tail, you got rocker in the nose. It's just, you know, it's a kind of board that would be really fun for Jimbo. And there's less volume in the tail. You can kind of see.
There's what?
Tail,
there's less volume.
You know, you can see that there's a little more volume in the nose, then less volume in the tail, and I just felt this is a fun ride for those who ride groomers as much as they ride powders. But powder. But the one thing I would say is keep this in the like in the good snow to powder range. Like keep it in the soft snow, keep it in the medium snow. It's not really a hard snow champ. You know, maybe you could do some magic with the tuning, really sharpen the edges and get a little more grip, but all in all, I'm impressed. Like the black snowboard of death, I don't know if it, can't remember if it comes in wides, but if it doesn't, this is a great alternative.